Can you just bear in mind, I'm filming as well.
I just want to get this. Sorry, can you just get this picture? Just one picture.
Okay, guys, can everyone just stay to the side? We need everyone back now, please.
Can you help the security, please? Help the security keep a gangway. We need a passway. We've got lovely security, Bernard and the team. Right, they're called a polite solution because they're polite and they're all working with us together. And Norris Freedom Windross is him that's rolling with it. Hello, mate, how you doing? Look, we got someone really fucking well known. Hello, everybody. Known to Ulez. Known to Ulez, fantastic. He's doing a live stream, I love it. If we can just keep this area clear, help Bernard and the team, please, because we've got to keep getting the speakers onto a radio show as well as doing this live. So I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. All right. This is syndicated. This is a photographer, so show him some love, but it's for syndicated and it will be mainstream and all of that. So we want a nice, big, powerful picture. We always say the mainstream don't, but we've been getting loads of coverage, to be honest, haven't we, in the mainstream media? Telegraph, GB, Talk, Lembit was on Talk last night, Howard Cox is on GB today, the Telegraph, everyone's now covering this more and more. We're going to get our voices heard, we're going to make a change together. He wants a big picture, everyone lifting their signs up, big energy! Fantastic.
Yes, Kyle!
I'm going to go live. I think we can go now. So you're ready in a couple of minutes now, yeah? I'm going to go on the stage in a couple of minutes. So we're going to
Long way to come.
I'm going to welcome the live stream, and it's going to welcome a bit later. Ready, Paul? Oh, we are live, London. What are you saying? We are here live. There's a camera there. We're live around the world. I'm with Nick Harlett. I'm Alan Miller from the Together Association. Nick Harlett from Action on Ulez. Done great work with Phil and the others. We're all in London and we can see you. Big noise. Nick's going to say some words.
Hello everybody. If you know me, you know I'm not much of a speaker, so I'm not going to stand here and say a great deal today. I just want to thank everybody, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, everybody that has come, everybody that has got off their bums and come out today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The only thing I would say, in fact I'm going to have to swear, I'm going to have to use a swear word here, is democracy. Okay? Because apparently that is a swear word these days with our political classes. Most of them are absolutely ignoring what is going on. So the fact that you're here today, maybe they actually open their eyes and see what is happening. As I say, I'm not a speaker. There's loads of people that are going to talk to you today, much more I can't even say it, more eloquent than me. Okay? So just enjoy yourselves and enjoy the speakers and have a good day, please. Okay? I'll proceed back to Alan, okay? Thank you, Nick. Big shout to Nick and Phil and the whole team who've been putting this all together. Amazing work. Next, quickly, Kingsley Hamilton.
Hi guys and girls, thank you for coming. Give yourselves a big cheer. This isn't about me. This is about you, okay? You are the people who need to fight this. Don't keep sitting waiting for all of us lot to do stuff. You've got to fight. Bring the fight here, that's great, but you've got to take that fight back to your friends. You've got to take that fight back to your families. You've got to spread the word and tell them what's going on. There's no point me standing up here telling you how Ulez is terrible. You already know that. You've got to talk to other people and you've got to get them to understand what's going on. Ulez is just a small part. We've got road user charging coming up. I'm not going to babble on for too long because I'll be talking to you a bit later. But the point is, you've got to spread the word. So what you're watching today, live stream it, share the hell out of it, tag your friends, tell your friends. You've got to spread the message. Give yourselves a big cheer and I'll speak to you soon.
So everyone, I'm going to start. I was going to do a little speech, but I'm actually going to start with a few quotes from around the country. Because one of the things that they always say to us when we're campaigning, what people in London and Ulez, he calls us loads of names, doesn't he, Sadiq Khan? He says, oh, all those people, the conspiracists, the far right, Nazis now, right? Nazis. But what that means is it reflects a lack of an ability to discuss and debate honestly with the public. It's a contempt for the public and an inability to explain the merit of your arguments. Why are you doing this when over 65% said in your so-called consultation that they did not want this? Why did you buy the cameras first with TfL? And why, Mr. Khan, are you lying and doing misinformation about 4,000 deaths every year? Ben Parr has done a report, Climate Resistance Action and Together Declaration, basically demonstrating those figures are absolutely made up. Shame on Mr. Khan. Ulez expansion needs to go. What's he going to do? Now we've seen a lot. I'm getting told by Norris, it's good. We've seen a lot of people from around the country saying, you're not from here, why are you not getting involved if it's Oxford or Bath or Cambridge? We are UK residents and citizens. We're businesses, we're all together. We are not going to be palmed off by political parties that are national organisations like the Lib Dems, the Labour, Greens, like the Conservatives, because they've also been funding a lot of these things initially as well. And we're not going to get palmed off by that argument, who are you, where are you from? We don't have to explain where we're from. We're British, we're citizens, we're residents. We can have support everywhere. So today we've got a lot of campaigners from London, from outside London. We've got a great array of speakers. We've got councillors, MPs, but we've got people, friends, that are campaigning, like Mark from King's Heath in Birmingham. We've got people from Manchester. We've got people that have come from Wales in solidarity with Londoners and those outside of London. Show them support, big round of applause to them. Hey! Now, just in case we think they're all these so-called names, I'm going to give you a few quotes from a couple of people. One is that really, really radical person, Lord Moylan. So Lord Moylan, about Ulez in the House of Lords, that was a joke, the first bit, by the way. Right? Lord Moylan couldn't be here today, but he did want to say this to us all. He said with Ulez, you cannot do this to the people. You cannot do this to the people, naughty Norris. You cannot do this to the people without letting them have their say. Thank you, Lord Moylan, absolutely. Now, I'm going to read something. We've got a lot of people that are residents. I'm reminded, and citizens, and I'm very proud of being a citizen. I'm reminded of the levelers and the diggers 375 years ago who insisted on their democratic rights, on their freedom, on their ability to represent themselves, to be represented. I'm reminded of the Chartists. I'm reminded in this hallowed land, this hallowed ground, of people who've come and spoke around issues of freedom. And this is a fight of our generation and of our times, where technocrats want to impose things on us without asking us, telling us to be quiet. We know what's best for you. We're going to do it anyway regardless. And we're saying, no, you can't. What are we saying? No, you can't. Now this is from Baroness Fox. I've got 2 more quotes and I'm going to get you on to the next speaker, which is, we're very lucky, we've got Howard Cox from Fair Fuel, and we're going to be telling you guys something live, very exciting. I'm really excited about all this. So Claire Fox, Baroness Claire Fox, also from the House of Lords, she says, policies that show contempt for everyday lives of drivers shows the growing gap between politicians and the public. Worse, they have the nerve to demonise engaged citizens who dare to say no. Eco-washing policies are threatening livelihoods and making the most mundane journeys an expensive nightmare. Effectively, green austerity measures. Worse, the ever-expanding Ulez threatens the freedom associated with driving, being free to drive wherever we want for whatever reason we choose, without being answerable to those in power. Good luck in the fight. Thank you, Baroness Fox. Thank you. They're just down the road, the House of Lords. We've got people from Parliament, we've got MPs, we've got councillors, and we've got citizens. So just the last one now I'm going to read, and then I'm going to introduce you to Howard Cox. He doesn't need an introduction, he's always in the media, he's in the press. This is Richard Parnham from Oxford. Oxford have done a valiant fight for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. They've been fighting, they've been campaigning, they've stood in the election locally, they have been doing great work. Let's big shout out to Oxford. Here we go. Richard Parnham says, reconnecting Oxford stands in solidarity with all those fighting Ulez in London. As we all know, schemes such as Ulez and Oxford's planned zero emission zone, which is even more restrictive than Ulez, is nothing to do with fighting pollution. Instead, these schemes are a blatant tax grab by out-of-touch politicians who are determined to make life an expensive nightmare for car drivers across the country. Thank you, Oxford. Thank you, Richard. I'm going to hand over in just a second. We've got amazing speakers today. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. Do join us if you want to help campaign around the country. And now, our next guest is, I'm really, really pleased to introduce the next guest, because Howard Cox has been fighting a fight for 13 years with Fair Fuel. Millions of signatories. He's always a voice. He always makes me feel a bit old. He's got so much energy and enthusiasm. He's got a lot of courage, even when people come out with a name-calling thing. And we're really pleased that Howard is one of our partners in all of this and he's here today. Howard Cox, over to you.
Well, what an introduction. I think one of the first things I'd say to you is welcome to Sadiq Khan's little starlet zone. I'm going to just hold the mic quite flat. Oh dear. Yeah, welcome to Starlight Khan, that's what I was saying. Did you hear that? Yeah, okay. Well, just to let you know, Fairfield UK has been campaigning for the last 13 years, and we managed to get a freezing fuel duty in that time, and we've even got a 6p cut. If we hadn't have done that, you'd be paying £3 at the pumps. That's what Gordon Brown left this Tory government with, but even the Tory government were going to keep this thing called a fuel price escalator. You remember that? And obviously it would have actually destroyed our economy and we would have been in recession. What gets me about this particular thing, and I'm delighted to work with the Together Declaration, really delighted, and they're fantastic and give you all your support, and if you haven't joined yet, please join. All donations we must have to keep fighting, because we are up against an incredibly well-financed green operation, and that's the truth I get all the time. So guess what? If I came to you and said to you something along the lines of, I've got this great idea, you can bring in your allegedly dirty diesel, your dirty petrol, but hey, you have to pay for the privilege. Now, if he really cared about the environment, he'd ban the car completely, wouldn't he? So this is truly cash grabbing, only cash grabbing, and what's happening is the government down the road here, and I spoke to Sir Keir Starmer as well, the opposition leader. I said, why have you still got Sadiq Khan in the Labour Party? He's lied to people, he's lied to the London Assembly, he ordered the cameras before the public consultation, he excluded 5,000 Fairfield UK people who took part in that, who objected to Ulez expansion, all those sorts of things, and yet he's still London Mayor. well, 14 months' time, there's a vote to get rid of him. And I can tell you now that I'm considering standing as London Mayor to fight him. Well, yeah, so watch out for your in-trays that are coming in with me begging for money to try and fight them. But seriously though, I am considering this. I'm talking to a lot of people. There are 3 political parties have asked me to stand. Which one I don't know yet. But I can't take this anymore. I'm 69 years of age now, and so I'll be 70 next year. I'm quite happy to give it till 75 to get rid of this and put London back at the centre of the world as the best capital city in the world. Thank you very much indeed. And don't forget to sign up to fairfielduk.com as well. That's free. Take care. Cheers.
1 minute, guys, we're just going to move these speakers out because we hear that you're having difficulty at the back. Bear with us 1 second, and as we do that, if someone can help on that side, and then just be careful of the join us, just move it around. This is Norris Windross, who's on the exec board and the steering group of Together. Big shout out to Mr. Norris Windross, fellow freedom fighter, DJ, producer extraordinaire. So we're going to get this out, and we're going to make sure there's no feedback. One more, can someone move this one as well, please? Can someone help us? Can we get it out? Just, is it connected to the thing? Just take it off, just cut it, there we go. The next guest we've got, I'm really excited. Oh look, Tonya Bugson's here. Hey! Tonya Bugson in the house! Great. The next guest, I'm really pleased and I'm very grateful that he's joined us today. We've got someone who's very funny and he's a freedom fighter and a campaigner, but he's also a comedian. He's also a writer, very witty. I want you to give a big London and outside and international warm welcome for Mr. Dominic Frisby!
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and despite being a comedian, I have absolutely nothing funny to say to you in this speech now. Sadiq Khan is the worst type of politician. Vain, he's egotistical, and he knows better than you. And he doesn't listen to those who have a different worldview to him. Instead, he smears them. They're far right, they're conspiracy theorists, they're racists. He's supposed to represent all Londoners, but he is not interested in your concerns if they're different to his. You are just an enemy. Like a devious and conniving solicitor, he is the master conflator, dealing in half-truths, in fabrication and deceit. London is the greatest city in the world, he says, but look at what it's become under his watch, the knife crime capital of the world. Locals are priced out, taxed into oblivion, and then besmirched if they dare speak out. How is buying a brand new electric car that requires tons and tons of cobalt and lithium and copper and nickel and other metals you don't even know the names of, neodymium and dysprosium, which means tank after tank of oil has to be burned, never mind all the coal, sending black plumes into the air, risking lives, often children's lives, in some far-flung corner of the planet. Then the ecological cost of transporting it to China, Chinese factories and back. How is that more environmentally friendly than simply keeping the car that you already have? How is that green? The environmental movement has been hijacked by crony capitalism. People ask, what is our system of rule? Is it a democracy when a mayor can impose new taxes with no democratic mandate? Is it a bureaucracy? Is it a kleptocracy? I'll tell you what it is. Our system of rule is a hypocrisy. London is open, he says. No, it isn't. He's literally closing it down. And what will he use this money he collects from you for, this new tax money for? More waste, more stupid schemes that impinge on your freedom, more imposition of the calm world view, more rainbow flags on the tubes, more planning, more bureaucracy, more corruption, more state. The state will keep on growing. It is always growing. And if you dare speak out against, you're a far-right racist, homophobe, fascist, sexist, conspiracy theorist, bigot. Sadiq Khan hates you. And he hates the English, and he will not rest until the London that we once knew and loved has totally gone. And that is all you need to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. And do get down to Comedy Unleashed. I would recommend Comedy Unleashed. We're very good friends with them. Brilliant stuff. It's free speech, reigns and rules there with some brilliant comedians. Thank you, Dominic. Next up, we've got someone who's been making the news a lot on this issue. He's been very vocal, and you're all going to know him. Let's have a very, very big warm round of applause for Peter Fortune, Bexy, and the London Assembly, Mr. Peter Fortune. Hello, morning.
Look at all of you, that's fantastic. Well done for coming up this morning. Do you know what? We've had a good week. Who saw the news about the JR decision proceeding to the next stage? So I want to start with a quick tribute to those boroughs. Harrow, Hillingdon, Surrey, and then my own beautiful boroughs of Bexley and Bromley, the Rebel Alliance. Let's give them a big round of applause. I would also like to especially mention the leader of Bromley Council, Councillor Colin Smith, who's here today. He was driving a lot of this work around the jail. Let's give him a round of applause, he's just over there. And then I want to pay tribute to you. You have stood up bravely. You've fought back. You've stood proud and said, no, we are not going to accept this. We are going to turn up and fight. So my last tribute to start is to all of you. Well done and thank you. Now, we all know what Sadiq Khan thinks of you. He thinks you're far right. He thinks you're conspiracy theorists. He thinks you're tin hat wearing crazy people. But that's not what I see here. What I see here are hard-working Londoners worried about their jobs, worried about looking after their families, worried about visiting friends and family. I see the real London here, and Sadiq Khan does not see you. We know what he thinks of you. We know what he thinks of you. So let me ask you, what do you think of him? Now we can tell him what we think of him. In just over 12 months' time, we can throw this dictator out of office. He has been a dreadful mayor. He has been a dreadful mayor. 57% increase in your council tax. Police in special measures. Fire in special measures. Housing infrastructure failing. And that's before we get to TfL. TfL, bailed out by government and bust by Khan. His financial mismanagement of TfL has left a huge hole in the budget, and that's why he's coming after your money. That's why he's expanding the Ulez zone. That's why he's going to charge you to visit a hospital. That's why he's going to charge you to go to work. And it's just the start, because when that goes in, he will move to a road user charging model. Who here wants Sadiq Khan monitoring where they drive each day? Because I don't. So in 12 months' time, we can get rid of this man. And I know that in the crowd today, there'll be one or two people who are thinking about putting themselves forward as a mayoral candidate. And I say this to you. If you want to put yourself forward to be Mayor of London, make this commitment. Day one, those cameras come down. No ifs, no buts. Day one of the new mayor's term, those cameras come down. We know what the mayor thinks of you.
Let's tell him what we really are. That was the best bit. London says no!
You might need a little bit of help with the mic. What happened? Did anyone switch it off? We've got a power cut. There's no power cut. It's all on battery. The mic, so I'm trying to focus. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's it. Whoa, what did Peter do? Get the right. Get caught out! 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 We need to get this down here. Someone pull it out.
Just having a bit of technical difficulty with the PA system at the moment, so bear with me.
Charlotte, the only thing we need is them here. I know, we kept saying phone in, I don't know, they're 2 minutes away.
1, 2, here we go. Yes, we are alive. Well done, Paul. By the way, everyone, this is Paul Rodriguez, who does all our live streams. He's between Paul and Rob Tyson. You can see it's not me keeping us going with the tech. Alan. Right. On that note, I just want to say one thing, right? I met this next speaker a while ago when the times they were changing and they were very different. And she has been consistently brave and courageous in the media when a lot of people just was be quiet, get on with it, or champion things that they didn't even know what they were talking about. Well, Tanya Buxton has been very vocal. She's put herself on the line. She lost some gigs in the media, but she's got some new gigs. And she really represents what it means to have principles and stand by what you do. And we're very pleased today that Tanya Buxton's come to speak to us. No to you, Ulez. Big round of applause, Tanya Buxton.
Thank you, Ellen. What a lovely thing to say. And I was lucky enough to meet Ellen and become one of the first signatories of the Together Declaration. And they kept me sane during the time where I thought I was losing my mind during lockdown. And we fought during lockdown. We got rid of vaccine mandates. We're going to get rid of this too. You just watch it. Because we can't. This whole thing about caring about the air for the children is a big load of rubbish, as far as we all know it's rubbish, because he didn't care about children during lockdown, did he? He got at all, so he doesn't care now. It's all about two things. It's about making serious amounts of money off the poor, hard-working British people. That's all he cares about. Closing down the businesses, the small businesses, closing down the people that really want to work hard and keep Britain great. And the second one is about control. He wants to control where you're allowed to go. He wants you to pay per mile eventually to go and see the people that you love, to live the life that you want to live. He calls us fascists. And yet look at what he does. He is the greatest living fascist as far as I'm concerned. So thank you all for coming, but we've got to do more. Join the Together Declaration, send letters to your MPs, send letters to your councils, stand up. I've been hearing that people have been doing things of breaking down, can you hear me? Kind of getting rid of all the cameras. Well, I mean, I don't condone illegal action, but was it Lord Sumption right thing. That's all I'm saying. Let's stay together. We can beat this. We can beat it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonya. What are we saying, London? Are we saying no to Ulez? You can hear the mic. I can hear the mic from here. Yeah, I know. So our next speaker, yeah, your one's better than my one. Okay, so I know, just to say, I know there's a little bit of frustration with some of the audio, and I apologise for that. The sound guys are around the corner, but we're doing the best we can. And next time we're going to do a much bigger one with much bigger audio. So bear with us, but we are live. You will be able to catch up, and you lot are making a fantastic noise already. So good. So the next speaker, everyone will know. He's very well known. I'm just going to bring him on. It's Shaun Bailey. Big round of applause for Shaun Bailey.
First of all, thank you so much for coming out today, because of course you can miss out home on the sofa doing nothing else. Listen, I just want to talk to you about the Ulez. 2 years ago when I ran for Mayor of London, I said to everybody, let's oppose the expansion of the Ulez to the North and South Circular. And Sadiq Khan ridiculed me. He ridiculed me, he ridiculed all the poor families who now risk their mobility being cut off. He ridiculed all those NHS workers, all those social workers, all those coppers, all those nurses who need to drive around to get work. He ridiculed us. And I said to people at the time, if you remember, I made a little video showing the costs going up and up to drive into London, and he ridiculed me. People wrote articles saying I was lying. But look where we are 2 years later. The problem with Sadiq Khan, you give him an inch and he'll take a mile. And this is just the beginning of the costs that he has planned for us. Let's make no mistake, this is a tax on Londoners, this is a tax on jobs, this is a tax on your families. There's people in London now who simply won't be able to go and see mum, won't be able to get into work, will have to change jobs because they can't afford a car. So that's why I've come here today to say 2 things to you. Firstly, let's keep it civil so he can't accuse us of stuff and take the focus off of his poor running of London. The minute something goes wrong, he says that we're wrong, that we're misbehaving, that we behave better than him, and he's lied to us. I repeat those words, he's lied to us for the last 7 years. It's time that we take action. So I'm really happy to see you here. And the second thing is, let's keep going.
My colleagues, and here we go. My colleagues on the GLA and some council leaders have really put their head above the parapet and taken Sadiq Khan to court. And unbelievably, they've managed to get him into court. Now let's all hope and pray. Let's all hope and pray that we actually win. But the people who've really made the difference, the people who've really pushed this along is you. I want you to give yourself a round of applause. You're why we've got so far. Because when my colleagues started, and when the councils got involved, it was because so many of you wrote in. So the last thing I want to say is God bless you all. I hope you and your family do well today and every day, and let's keep going. We can beat Sadiq Khan, we can beat the Ulez, and we can make London a better and safer place to live. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shaun Bailey.
I've just been told to try this, but that's not working.
No, that's not working. It's a little juggle, isn't it? So, also the next guest isn't going to need much introduction because, and I know if someone's having a little giggle out there, it is very funny, but a load of people, if you wanted to say that you thought we were wrong, if they're playing around with the radio waves, you can just say we're wrong and you can explain your arguments, but all those silly little tampering things aren't really that good. And that's the thing. We think it together that the main thing is that we get to discuss and debate these ideas out in public honesty, that we get to have our voices heard. We're not children, well some of us are kids, but we're not children, right? We are able to make up our own minds and discuss the merit and the virtue of things, right?
And we are not going to be treated with contempt by technocrats and the elected elite who think that they don't have to listen to us and just do things to us. So, on that note, very well known on YouTube and across social media, a big round of applause for the brown driver guy. Hello everyone, how you all doing? Give me a cheer!
So some of you will know me and some of you will be wondering who's this guy on stage? Is this Sadiq Khan's brother? Well, I'm not Sadiq Khan's brother. I mean, maybe a brother from another mother, but not really a brother of Sadiq Khan. I am Sadat Sheikh, I'm the brown car guy. I'm a merchant journalist and content creator, and I've been covering the Ulez expansion, the proposal for it, since May of last year. So big plug time, head over to browncarguy.com. I've got a dossier, a compilation of all my content there, everything you need to know about Ulez. Click on it, some of you will find it really useful, some of you have already seen it. But the main thing for me was that as a motoring journalist, how do I come at this? What am I looking at here? And for me it was very important to represent the voice of the motorist. And the motorist is you, me, anybody that drives, or even rides in a car. We are all motorists, right? And the thing about motorists is the mainstream media is not representing the motorists, right? At best they're ignoring it, at worst they're vilifying us as nutters that hate the planet. And this is not true. So from the beginning it was important for me to talk to you people. I've been to all of these Trafalgar Square protests, I've been to Erpington, I've been to Bromley, and I've talked to you guys, and I've talked about the real issues that you're facing, the real hardships in terms of losing your jobs, or not being able to get your jobs, or closing your businesses, or not being able to maintain your car, not being able to care for elderly relatives. All of these are real heart-wrenching issues. And for me it was important to get these stories out there because nobody else is doing it. So that's what I've been trying to do. And I hope that in some small way I've been able to do that. Thank you very much. And in fact, I want to hear from you guys now. Tell me, what do we want? Do we think that Ulez should be stopped? Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's trying to make money off of us? Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's brown? Oh, he went there, he went there, he went there. Oh, well, somebody had to go there, right? So listen, I've got to just touch on this point because I've had so much amazing feedback from you guys, so much support, and thank you so much for that. But every now and then somebody says he's doing this because he's brown, or because he's Asian, or because he's Muslim, right? Can I just tell you right now, categorically, you may have noticed, I'm also brown! And I'm also Muslim. And I'll tell you right now, this has got nothing to do with race or religion. This is to do with politics, it's to do with money, it's to do with stubbornness, it's to do with ego. God is doing this. God is doing this because he's a bad mayor, not because he's a brown mayor. I can tell you that right now. However, we have to give credit to Khan for one thing. Ask me what that is. What do we have? Look around you. Look at this. We've got people from all over London and beyond, from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all cultures, and we've all come together. Khan has united us. And you know, the wonderful thing about this is that it's us, it's the people. We make London the greatest city in the world. It's us. It's not the mayors, it's not the leaders, it's us. We do this, right? And you know what? Londoners don't like to have the wool pulled over their eyes, because if anybody tries to do that, we tell them, oi, stop it. What do we say? Stop it! You guys are absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for coming out. I want to big up Alan for doing this. I also want to big up the regular team that has been putting these events together. We've got Chris, we've got Nick, we've got Warren, we've got Phil. Who have I missed? And Kingsley, of course, Kingsley, brilliant Kingsley. The great team here. We've got a great team that has been doing these events. Round the big up, big respect, big respect. But most importantly of all, we've got you guys. Make sure also today that you greet one another and thank one another as well for coming here and showing your support and making sure that we keep up with this fight. Yes, the judicial review is going ahead, but don't rest on our laurels because we've still got this fight and we've got the next fight, which is pay per mile. We're not letting off this. I'm not giving up. You mustn't give up. Thank you so much, everyone.
Right, everyone, just before we bring on our next speaker, we're going to have a little announcement. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me all right? Okay, the next event after this one, there's a convoy coming into London. It's coming from junction 11A on the M1 motorway on Wednesday, the 3rd of May. They're meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We set off at 10 on the dot. We're coming down the M1 motorway to Trafalgar Square, Parliament Square, BBC Studios, ITV Studios, and from there it'll disband from there. If you want to join the convoy group at Stop Ulez Convoy on Facebook. Okay, it's got all the details, all the times at the junctions we're passing at certain times, so that you can join us at different junctions if you want. But the start is junction 11A on the M1 motorway. Let's make it big, let's roll into London, and let's show we're together.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read out a quote. This is from Edinburgh, from our friends. It's from Anne Roberts. A quick one from Edinburgh. Greetings from Together Edinburgh. We experienced significant traffic control in 2021 with the COVID Spaces for People initiative. It caused controversy and made other roads busier and more dangerous. Since 2022, we have a low emission zone with fines coming in June 2024. As part of Together Scotland, we are aware of what is coming and are joining in with all other local organisations to say no to this and to 20-minute and 15-minute neighbourhoods. This is all about generating income and surveillance on our citizens. As part of the Together Association, we are learning more about how to understand what is happening, to say no, and to bring back democracy and free our streets together. Yes, Edinburgh! And from Edinburgh to a borough that I used to live in once, I used to be in Shawlands, that's that great. So we have now got Councillor for Bromley, Mr. Colin Smith. You all know about the judicial review.
Thank you. Shortlands, blimey, he must have had some money in his family living in Shortlands. However, I am here today really to say thank you. I can't compete with Brown Card Guys or Oratory, one of his own. You've done so well of late, you're helping us so much, and your support is building and building a momentum that frankly even a couple of months ago wasn't there. For those of us that have been arguing this for a long, long time now, for those of us that have been trying to get mainstream media and trying to get mainstream society to take this seriously, it's happening, you can feel it, it's growing. These protests, they've gone from 10 to 20 people. Just take a look around today, just look how big this is and just sense the feeling. He can't ignore us anymore. That's what he's tried. He's tried ignoring us. He's tried ridiculing us. He's told us to go away, don't take out a JR, you're wasting your time. I'm right, do what you're told. And people are fed up with it. People are fed up being ignored and they're fed up being told what to do. They want to be listened to and they want to be heard. So my message, quite simply to you, is please, please, please keep on making yourselves heard. Please, please, please continue to pressure politicians. And I'm not going to wax lyrical on politics today, not the forum, but his weak spot, if he's got one, is fellow Labour politicians. They can see and feel and hear this as well. They are his weak spot. So if you've got a Labour councillor or a Labour council leader let them know how unhappy you are, because I can tell you as an elected person, when your email box suddenly starts filling up with angry emails, it makes you sit up and think and listen, particularly when you're worried about your own majority. That's the nature of life and politics. So, message going out from today is thank you all for coming along. Please keep up your fight. I can tell you that the 4 London boroughs plus Surrey intend to drive this judicial review through to the end. And we travel in hope, we travel with a degree of expectancy, and we know we're in with a chance. Don't be told it's a pointless exercise. We are in there punching, we've got a chance to do this. Let's keep on it, keep politicians under pressure, and fingers crossed, we'll eventually be heard. My message to Khan at the end is you don't have to do this. You can still stop, still listen. You know that Outer London is in frankly uproar over this. Look very closely about what you're about to do, because you're going to be putting people out of business, you're going to be making people unemployed, and you're going to be endangering vital care networks which got members of their family travelling a few miles to look after ageing parents and the like. So that's why this is important. Thank you, keep it up, and no to Ulez! No to
Well, this one set, we're just waiting for the next speaker to come through, and Ali's going to take over from me.
Next up, right, this is brilliant, right, because a few weeks ago we may not have had this next speaker on, but what the next speaker has actually demonstrated is what happens up and down the country when we get involved and we stand up and we ask difficult questions and we have our voices heard and we organise locally and we film it and we put it out on social media, and then it goes even further. So Mike Ball from Thetford in Norfolk has done all that. Big round of applause. And also we've got the guys from LSB streaming as well on YouTube, and he's got a crew with him, and we know that it's inspiring because 13 people are standing independently, and we're saying no more about having our voices heard. We're going to put more under pressure, everyone.
Good afternoon, Trafalgar. I'm not going to take this opportunity necessarily to talk about Ulez, but I want to talk more personally. I want to talk about you people. Can you hear me now? Yes. Thank you. So calm, isn't it? He's here somewhere, I know he is. He's got his scissors, he's cutting every wire he can, apart from cameras. Okay, yeah, no, I want to talk to you. I want to talk on a personal level so that we can get the motivation going and we can give thanks. Because I've got to be honest, when I look around and I think about the positive atmosphere, the media have tried to quell our positive atmosphere. They've pushed us, they've suppressed us, and they've caused us problems. But we people, the people that are here today, we haven't fell for it. We haven't fell for the deception, and we have no intention of falling for the deception. So from our point of view, we don't always find the time to actually come together and give congratulations and give inspiration to each other. But know what you're doing here today and behind the scenes with all the work that you do is absolutely fantastic. Without that inspiration and without that information, I wouldn't be here today. The reason being is it was your rallying around, your awareness of Ulez, which led me to look at 20-minute zones, the LTNs, the 15-minute cities. Once we realised that that's what the county of Norfolk in the Sleepy Heart on the side of the country was looking to do, then obviously we took them on. And we challenged our council. But that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened unless people like you had created an awareness that the government are trying to quell and stop at any cost that they can do. With regard to the cameras and everything else, it's just not going to work. You know, they can't do it without a consent. They can try, but we will end up taking them down. They will get demolished. You know what I mean? So, yeah. For those that don't want to go out and demolish them, check out Katie Hopkins. I don't know if anybody's seen it on TikTok, but Tool Station, and it is actually $5.99, not $6.69, like she said. What I have real trouble from is, how is it that somebody can look at us and they can make a decision for us? Do you agree with it? Do you consent to it? So at what point do we say no more? That's exactly right. It's now. It's moving forward in the future. They can only do what they're going to do if we allow them to do it. Okay, so we have to make this stand. But the thing is, what we need to do is we need to unite. Doing this here today in London is okay, but we need to unite across the country. We need to get everybody together. We have little pockets of people which have got a little bit of force. We need to bring those people together. We've got people all over the world that are supporting us at Thetford. I mean, we put a video out. Once we did that and we put the video out that LSB Film Productions filmed for us, they put it on a YouTube channel. There was 243,000 hits. Now that is massive. We're a small town with a community of 30,000. It shows you that the passion is there. We need to correlate it and we need to unite it. We need to literally bring it together. If we bring it together, I promise you, we can and we will win this battle. If I can just end, I kind of want to just get the inspiration and the feeling of community going here today. So I want to get 3 cheers. 3 cheers for the brave people and the patriots. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Now that message, because they're going to watch this, Sadiq Khan, I mean, I'm going to walk off this stage today 8 foot tall. If Sadiq Khan had made the point of coming down here and speaking, he could leave here 5'3". So my message is, you are my people, you are my passion, you are my inspiration. Keep up the good work. I promise on your behalf, I will keep up the good work, and together we will get the message out. Who's up for that? Louder, there's got to be more of you. Who is up for it? That is exactly right. That is where we want to be. Let our voices be heard. Because we stayed quiet for too long. We've taken suppression and oppression for too long. We've been labelled, we've been undermined. It's time to stop. It's time to grow. Unite, come together and form an allegiance with each other. You don't know these people standing beside you, but we share common ground. It's as simple as that. We're humanity. We need to grow. So grow. Everybody grow now. Because I'm a family man, I'm a devoted family man, I'm a father and a grandfather.
Hold on, wait a minute.
But one thing that I want to get across today is a personal message, alright? A personal message to the people. A personal message to the people that exactly who I am. I'm nothing really, to be honest, without you people. 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago, I was just a normal guy in the town. Today, man, I'm at Trafalgar Square. And it doesn't get much better than that, does it? A personal message that I want to just send, and I want to send it down the lens if I can. My biggest inspiration comes from, I've got to be honest, much closer to home. And I know she's watching today, she's there. She's my biggest critique and she's my biggest supporter. And that is my mum. And I want to look down the lens today and I want to go, I love you, mum. I love you, mum, and thank you for everything you give me, and thank you for your support. Thank you, Trafalgar, you have been amazing.
Well done, well done. We've got the cavalry
here. Right, cavalry, hello? Right. Something just happened.
Chris?
Can I use the microphone?
I might want to, yeah. So Max has sorted my life out. That's a big shout out for Max. Hooray! Well, they can't hear us on the live stream when we do this, but can you hear us? Yeah, okay, right. Well, we're going to go with this for a bit. Oh, there we go. 2-2. Big one up to Max. Thank you.
Everyone give Max, your sister, does she want to come as well? Come and say hello. Everyone give the youngest one, come and stand up here. Big shout out. What's your name? Lexi and Max, freedom fighters in the house. Hey! Thank you guys, thank you for your help, well done. I really am inspired by what they're doing, and I want to say to everyone, we're working with local, regional, national ambassadors and groups up and down the country. In Bristol, in Bath, in Canterbury, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Birmingham, where 70,000 people have not paid their CAS, Ulez equivalent, and they're not collecting them. And all around the country I'm inspired by how smart and brilliant people are, how that we've got the arguments, we've got clarity about our communities and what we need, and we're not going to have it from these technocrats, so of whatever political colour. We're going to stand together, we're going to put them under pressure, we're going to take back democracy, we're going to free our streets together. What are we doing? And now, talking about that, I was lucky enough and very privileged to be invited by Mark Hudson at King's Heath, because in King's Heath in Birmingham, they've got a fantastic community of people who are challenging low traffic neighbourhoods, and it's come all the way down to show solidarity with us and show us why we've got a common struggle. Big round of applause, Mark Hudson.
Thank you very much for that. So I'm from King's Heath in Birmingham. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. So we've got, like many of you in London, we've got a double whammy. We've got a congestion charge for our city centre, and we've got LTNs, these street closures in King's Heath itself. King's Heath is the largest shopping area in South Birmingham. It's one of the largest suburbs of South Birmingham. Kind of middle class kind of area. Now, interestingly, I actually stuck this on my car, and guess what? A policeman came and stopped me and said, "Excuse me, sir, can I have a word with you about your registration plate?" I said, "Oh yeah, what's the problem, officer?" He said, "No problem at all. Those bloody LTNs are causing us such a hassle. Go on your way, sir. Go on your way." But on a serious note, so I've actually been campaigning against these street closures in King's Heath mainly from a couple of weeks after they went in. I was 23 years with the Department for Transport. I'm a transport planner. I was with the Highways Agency and what have you. I'm in the trucking world now, so I'm free. I can say whatever I like. What's happened in that time is that I've upset our local Labour councillors so much that I've been framed by the police on a serious matter, and although that's all been cleared now, and just yesterday I had tickets to go to a public event arranged by Birmingham City Council, and this was in King's Heath, and the elections officer, his name's Robert Connolly. That's Robert Connolly. He's the chief solicitor of Birmingham City Council. He's the elections officer that's supposed to be impartial. He sent me an email at 5:15 yesterday evening saying we are withdrawing your tickets to attend this. Your Labour councillors, because we have two Labour councillors in King's Heath, your Labour councillors have said that they won't attend if you're attending. Now I'm a peaceful guy, I'm an ex-civil servant for goodness sake. So I've asked Mr. Connolly, what evidence do you have that in any way I'm inciting unrest? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I feel that my human rights are being impinged on. I can't even go to a public event that I'm actually paying for. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now my name's Mark Hudson. I can be found on Facebook, and that's King's Heath LTN Concerns. So if you have similar experiences of the authorities actually sort of like basically using underhand tactics to get at you, basically, I'm a working person like most of you, then please get in touch, because we need to share this information. And thank you to Together Challenge for bringing us together across the country. Thank you again. Cheers.
Thank you, Mark. Big shout all the way from Birmingham. We love you, Birmingham! Fellow citizens and residents, now recently, a lot of you will have seen in the news the brilliant work that people in Cambridge have been doing in challenging their congestion charges. Have you been seeing that? You hearing that? I went down there recently, or up there, actually did go up there, and I was really inspired and amazed by the brilliant crowd they had, by what a mixture of speakers they had from across the old, what you would call political traditions, from trade unions to conservatives to independents and greens, all speaking against the imposition of this congestion charge and attempt to do it to citizens. And one of the organisers and the standout speakers that just did a brilliant speech, who was also on the radio show with us recently, is Shaun Bailey. She's here today. Let's give her a big one. Warm round of applause. Shaun!
Thank you all for having me here today, and thank you London for inviting us here today. Again, my name is Shaun Bailey, and I'm here all the way from Cambridge. I would like to let you know that I have come here today to stand with you, to stand with London, together, united. As in Bath, as in Oxford, and in many other communities across UK, you have in London, and we have in Cambridge, a democratic deficit. A deficit that is now threatening one of our most basic freedoms, our freedom of movement. In Cambridge, we are fighting a so-called congestion charge. An unjust tax for which there is zero democratic mandate. Not net zero, plain zero. The council plans to charge us £5 or more every weekday, everyone that we choose to drive within our city, out of our city, and into our city. Every single day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is Cambridge a congestion city? No. Is the air we breathe highly polluted? Again, no, it's not. Is this charge, this tax, an absurdity? Yes, it is. It's an absurd piece of control freakery, which will be tough on most of us and ruinous for many. It will be especially harmful to smaller businesses, to charities, to families, to tradesmen, and to our elderly and the most vulnerable. And it will further disadvantage the poorest members of our society. This tax is rotten to the core. Those who can't afford to pay, it will drive from our roads. Those who can, it will permit to drive wherever and whenever they want. And to think that this, to echo Neil Kinnock, is a Labour Council. A Labour Council. A formal petition demanding a referendum was signed by more than 15,000 people in Cambridge. It was presented to the council. 15,000, let me just say, 15,000 is a remarkable number for Cambridge. It's a record-breaking number. A number that is more than just a number. That is a cry of pain from our city. A cry of pain and an appeal to reason. This is a number that no self-respecting democratic institution has any right to ignore. And yet the County Council in Cambridge has done just that. We know that about 80% of the population in Cambridge are against this cruel, this crazy, this unfair, and this unjust and undemocratic tax. We know it, the people of Cambridge know it, and Cambridge County Council knows it. But Cambridge County Council cares not a fig for public opinion. That's right, yes. There have, of course, been sham consultations. You know the kind of thing, surveys of opinion, packed with loaded questions designed to produce the desired answers. And it won't surprise you to hear that the inconvenient data, the numbers that don't suit, and rather too many don't, but they are plain ignored or deliberately misrepresented. Is this democracy? No! In Britain in 2023? No! Surely not. We can do better than this. We demand to be taken seriously. We, the people of Cambridge, Bath, Oxford, London, and cities from across the country demand to be heard. Look at us here today. Look at all of us. You brought the sun out with you. Look at us here today and listen to us. The cities of Britain stand united. Together, let us say no. We can say no. We must say no. And we are saying no. Let me hear you. No to these nonsensical restrictions on our movement. And yes to freedom. Yes to democracy. Yes to vibrant cities. And yes to fair play. Let me hear you. And yes to communities that work not for the better off alone, but that work for everyone, every single one of us. Thank you, London, for having us here today.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Big shout to everyone in Cambridge. We've got a national movement around the country in every town and city. And we, the people, demand to be heard. We're not going to be shammed. We're not going to be waffled. We're not going to be sidelined. We're not going to be treated by contempt. And what we're going to do, we're going to take back democracy. We're going to free our streets together. What are we going to do, everyone? That's right. So now, two more speakers, because it was so important what's happening in Thetford in Norfolk. And I'm a lover of Norfolk. We spent a lot of time there. When they said they would start wanting to do some of these 15-minute neighbourhoods, I was like, are they joking? In Norfolk, largely rural. There's a reason though, because even though this is about Ulez today, and both inside London and outside London, and I'm a Londoner, but I go loads of places and they say, why are you doing it? Why are you coming from the outside? We want everyone to show support to one another. We want to have solidarity. We've got a common fight, a common struggle, and that is bureaucrats and technocrats telling us to be quiet. They're going to impose these things on us. They want us all split up. They want us not united. They want to be a national organisation with organisations like C40 Cities funding and backing and putting ideas into. But they don't like the idea. Well, now we've got news for you. We are a national movement. We've got friends in towns and cities up and down the country, and we are coming for you, everyone. What are we doing? Right, next up is Bob Seys. Big round of applause. Thetford, Norfolk.
This is weird. This is very weird that somebody like me from sleepy old Thetford in Norfolk would be asked to come and speak. But I think the reason I'm here is that we all began our journeys in the same place. We all started as individuals and ended up as a collective. For me personally, my mistrust of the government and what goes on in local politics and everything began back in the 80s with the miners' strike. So fast forward up to February of 2020, and something in your gut says something's wrong. So Mike Ball's come on just a little while ago explaining about what we're doing in Thetford, and it started with the Stand in the Park movement, and we've decided to kick back before it actually gathers any kind of momentum. But going back to what I just said, Mike sent me this back in early 2020, and it's something that I read regularly just to remind me why we're all here. This is from Mark Twain. In the beginning of change, the patriot is a scarce man, and brave, and hated, and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And that sticks with me, and that's why I carry on doing what I'm doing. Okay. So now we're at a point where, over the last 3 years, a lot of the public have realised that their governments have been lying to them, and those people that have been silent are now standing up and speaking out. And it just shows that we all started as some of us are quite happy to stand up and shout quite loudly, and we're quite often thanked for doing so. But where I was going with this is that this pushback in Thetford started with somebody, a young lady who rather remain nameless. She's here today, and I'm not going to mention her name, but it was her idea to push out leaflets. It was her idea to push on to the councils. It was her that arranged the distribution of the leaflets. So what I'm saying is the people in the background that are actually giving us the platform to speak from. The importance of the quiet people behind the scenes is massive. It could be just hand out a leaflet. It could be just do a Facebook post. It could be just speak to somebody who didn't know what was going on. It is all important. So the next stage is really for people to start empowering themselves. It doesn't matter how smooth your voice is, it really, really matters. And at the end of the day, as a collective, if we all just turn around and say no, this all stops. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Brilliant. Norfolk in the house. We've got... Three's always better than one. So next, we have got, also for Thetford in Norfolk, because they did such a good job, and 13 of them are standing, going independent. This is what we need around Britain. And even though it's cut-off time, but we know in a third of the country, people are standing independently. And that's really important. It's not, of course, the only thing. People say when we organise a protest, oh, we're in protest, what's that going to do? And then when you say write to MPs and councillors, oh, write to MPs, no, what's that going to do? And then they say when you stand, they say, well, what's that going to do? And then when you have a rally, they say, oh, what's that? But collectively, and then going out and winning our friends and neighbours and work colleagues and convincing them to do the same with other people. And then we the many, they the few, start asserting ourselves. We need to flex our muscles, we need to get back in training, we need to turn Britain back into the democratic spirit it needs to have. And we do it together. So next up, very pleased, a big round of applause, Geoff Mealing. Hello London. How are we?
Brilliant, brilliant. Right, these restrictions. See, I've got a theory about this. I think these restrictions are partial lockdowns. That's the problem I've got. They're not going to throw out a lockdown straight away because we won't believe it, we won't have it. But I believe these restrictions are partial lockdowns of what's to come. And within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see the biggest financial crash that we've ever worked out and saw in history. If I can put my teeth in, I'll be alright. And what's going to happen? The banks are going to go bust. The cash is going to disappear. But why is that? Why is that, do we think? Well, the cost of living, everything's going up and they're printing more money off each time. It's quantitative easing, they call it. Quantitative easing, because the cost's just going through the roof. But I call it quantitative diseasing, because I believe that it's done by design, because they want the system to crash. They want the money to disappear, the cash to go. Because why do they want that? Because they're getting ready for the central bank digital currency. So first of all, what we'll find is the mainstream media will start saying, oh look, cyber attacks, we get blackouts and blame the Russians, no doubt. But really, obviously, this is planned. Blackouts, what I'll say to you is, if you're not collecting your food, saving it up now, you need to start. Because once the central bank digital currency comes in, we are in trouble. And I hope when the lights go up, that it's not Sadiq Khan's face, not Sadiq Khan, Rishi Sunak's face, that comes up and starts telling us how good this central bank digital currency is. Problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem, they gauge the reaction, and they give you the solution. And he'll tell you, they might even offer you some money to sign up for this. So the central bank digital currency is based on a social credit score. Look at China, look at Israel, and even look at the USA. It's been ratified in law by that awful man, Joe Biden. Yeah, exactly, yes. The social behaviour has been tracked from us since the internet started. So what have we got? They're going to be looking at a one world bank, one world government. They're going to look at a surveillance coin. It's going to track your every spend, like everything. Let's look at what tracking devices we got already. We got the phones. We've even got the Apple Watches or smartwatches. What's coming out now in the new cars, they're going to be fitted with cameras as well. By 2025, there's going to be at least 16 cameras in each car. So you better be careful what you get up to. Yes, smart cities, yes, it's all there. But not only that, the surveillance cameras, there's over 1 billion in the world at this point now, from the report last year. And do you know who is third in the world per thousand for surveillance cameras in the world? No, well, yeah, but it's London. London are third in the world per surveillance cameras. So, what do they want to do? Well, the central bank digital currency won't work unless we get the digital ID. The digital ID is all the facial recognition. It's going to be on everything. I mean, now you've got it on your phone, you've got it in the polling stations, you've got it in and out of the airports, you've got supermarkets, it's everywhere. And it'll only work in conjunction with that. And what it'll be is your food, if you want, like with the surveillance coin, your food, you'll have to unlock your apps in order to do this, see. What I meant to mention about the surveillance coin first is, if you did want to buy any food, say you want to say like steak, they might say, oh, I'm sorry, you can't have that because you've had too many steaks this week. They'll say, well I'll have some juice. So you check out, they look at it and go, well, I'm sorry, you can't have any juice because your sugar levels are too high. It's that kind of thing what they're doing, that kind of thing. So they're basing everything on the facial recognition with a digital ID because they want you to unlock everything. But if you haven't got the credit score correct, you haven't got a high score, then it'll be no good to you. They won't allow you to have anything to eat or even do anything. You know, so I just want to just do one quote from Thomas Paine. Those of you may have heard of it or not. He said, "I prefer peace, but if trouble must come, let it come in my time, so that my children can live in peace." Thank you.
Thomas Paine. I love it that people are quoting Thomas Paine. Common sense in that tradition of democracy and freedom. So now we're going to do something. Well, that's nothing to do with us though, is it? So just stay, don't go near the fire. Oh, smoke bombs, love it! Oh, scary! Bigger than that, you've got to do better than that. Please, sorry. I know we're live, aren't we? So now we're going to do something a little bit different. I met this guy, old now. I met this guy about 30 years ago in a different set of circumstances. And we've gone on a journey together in many different ways, and he's always been inspiring, but things are very different now to what they were then. But actually, as well as being a musician and as well as being a co-founder of Together Association and being on the board and always being there in the background, like with the security here, not in other ways, always also to disagree and argue and tell me when I'm wrong and have his voice there and be a bastion of strength. We're very lucky that Norris is going to come along, and although he plays and DJs and produces and he's always up there on the stage, he don't speak. And he's putting himself right out on the line. This is courage. He's also doing something with his beautiful sister Rose, who's a very well-known singer from back in the days of Soul to Soul and others. So we're going to have a little experiment, and I know you're going to show a lot of love, and we're going to see how this one all goes. It's Norris Windross and Rose Windross in the house.
Change battery or see a mic. See a mic, I think. Let's see a mic. Right. Alan, can you get a battery in that, please? Right, so listen, that was a good start. I don't like doing this. My sister's come up to give me a little bit of strength. It's a little bit of spoken word for you, right?
It's a little bit of spoken word. I'm going to hold out for the battery because it's going to sound better if my sister's involved. Yeah, so thank you for coming. Thank you for being you. Thank you for questioning and turning this thing around slowly but surely. We're going to make some things happen. We're going to change our country, change London, turn back Sadiq, turn it all, I was going to swear then, turn it all back. Have we got another mic yet, please? There we go.
Somebody's to find batteries.
Yeah, have we got them? Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to say it. Here we go. Listen. Listen, listen. Listen! I'm asking the question, whose is this vision? This vision that surreptitiously seems like a mission, that's taking control of our lives, telling us how we should live, on the basis of what is not what it appears to be. They tell us it's for our own safety, for our own health, for our own good. You stayed in to save lives, you lived in your post because they told you they should. You should, rather. I mean, surely they cared about us, surely they did. Surely they did. Surely they did, didn't they? Now listen, you know the truth now, the statistics and data is coming out now. It's time, people. Let us look at the facts, statistics, data and review. We have to recognise now that they are not on our side now. They do not convey or tell truth. So we have problems to solve, many lessons, many wrongs to resolve. So I'm asking you, each and every one of you, I'm asking me too, will we stand back and let them do to us what they choose to? No. To accept like lambs, branded, just because they tell us it's the standard? No, 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 no. For me and mine, those days are gone, and I'm asking you and everyone good to join with us all, to the good of good people, listen. The slogans they made were there to degrade, trying to scare us into submission, but they didn't. They caused our awakening, not our awokeness, our awakening. We're awake now! Where we say, what do you think and who do you think you're doing it to? When we know it's not right, listen. Listen! And when it's not right, we have to resolve to the fight. Listen. Listen! The fight to be free, the fight to live free, in peace and be what and how we choose to be. Peaceably. And so right now, I say no. No to LTNs, no to 15-minute sitters, and no to the Ulez. What do you say? No!
Stop the Ulez, exactly. So, how exciting. Thank you everyone. Thank you Norris and Rose. And now we're going to have a few speakers that are well known in the public arena, one by one. Next is coming up, we've got Ian Much from the Motorcycle Action Group. If you know the Motorcycle Action Group, put your hands together. Here we go, Ian.
Thank you. It's 50 years ago this year that we formed the Motorcycle Action Group, and I stood just behind me up here. And that, in those days, MAG, Motorcycle Action Group, had one issue, which was helmets. We didn't want to be told what to wear. We were always rebels. We didn't like being told what to do. And that principle has dictated pretty much everything which the Motorcycle Action Group has done ever since. It's not without responsibility, we're not lunatics, but we insisted that we would wear what we wanted to wear. Well, we didn't manage to win that, But there have been many other issues that have come along since. The government wanted to design bikes, they wanted to put power limits on bikes. And now we're being told where we can ride or when. And understandably, being a little on the rebellious side, we're not very keen on it. It doesn't mean that I'm anti-environment. I joined Greenpeace, I think, even before we formed the Motorcycle Action Group. And I'm very happy to plant trees, and I care about the oceans and everything else you can think of. But you've got to keep things in proportion, and you've got to avoid doing things which simply alienate people and don't achieve the results that you want to achieve, and don't feed your objective. And I think the danger that Sadiq Khan is getting into is that he's led with such ideological zeal that he's slightly lost the plot, and he's lost touch with people's lives. People's lives depend on their vehicle. It's an irony, it's an incredible irony, that if I had a brand new Rolls Royce, which I can't quite stretch to, I could bring that right through the ultra low emission zone. If I had a 20-year-old Honda 90, which many people who can't afford the latest vehicles of any kind might well want to ride, and would be fine to ride for another 20 or 30 years. There might be nurses, there might be all manner of essential workers who want to get into central London or get into any part of London from where they live, will not be able to do it. So I could sit in my Rolls Royce with my elbow out my window, burning more fuel than a chieftain tank almost, blowing cigar smoke in all directions, and that would be okay. But the guy on the 90cc Honda is going to pay £12.50 a day, which is rather a chunk out of a very basic wage. So what I have always said about every issue that we've dealt with in the past, and it's what I say about the Ulez issue today, is that you've got to keep things in proportion, and every proposed regulation should meet a certain number of criteria. Is it proportional? Will it be effective? Is it rational? And is it fair? And this is what Sadiq Khan has got to subject the Ulez proposition to. Fortunately for him, I've done the groundwork for him, and I can provide him with the answer. And the answer is no. We're anticipating. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Ian. Yes. Next up, Keith Prince in the house. Everyone knows Keith. Come on.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the organisers for organising today. They did a fantastic job, and my good friend Lembit Opit for helping out. Why are we here? I asked myself. Because isn't expanding the Ulez a wonderful idea? No. And is it being done to improve the quality of air in London? No. Why is it being done? It's being done to raise money. Exactly. It's all about money. It's got nothing to do with air quality. We've had the research that clearly shows that expanding Ulez will make no difference whatsoever. So it's all about money. And I'm so delighted that we're now going to have a JR, because all of this has been done incorrectly. He does not have a mandate for this. He didn't mention it in his election. He tried to interfere with the consultation, and that was, he was for it, he was. And also, we know that he predetermined, because for some reason, he ordered the cameras before the consultation. Not that he knew what the outcome of the consultation would be, because you wouldn't, would you? You'd spend millions of pounds on cameras you weren't going to use, wouldn't you? So all I've got to say to you guys is thank you so much for coming down. I love you, and let's really give it to him with a great big calm out. Hey, well done, guys, thank you.
Okay, everyone. If the sound guys are around, I don't know if they're having a beer or what's going on. Anyway, we need you over here. You told me last time you weren't going away. You're like killing me. You know, so one of those relationships. I'm not leaving you. It's great to see some familiar faces in the audience. Love it. Yes. Hello. Big shout. Yes, from around the world. The Lasso and Sophie in the house. So, next up, we have got Brian Brian Bailey from the Motorcycle Action Group. Big round of applause, shout out.
Can you hear me? That's good. It's actually the Alliance of British Drivers, but we go under different names. We all work together, yeah? Okay, you'll hear some good speeches today about Ulez, but Ulez is only part of the story. Okay, right. Ulez is a stepping stone to Genghis Khan's final solution, London-wide road pricing. He's got the nerve to pretend that Ulez is all about air quality and health. It's always been about money, our money. So pull the other one, Genghis. Last year, we had the Ulez consultation. One of my colleagues in ABD spotted a very interesting admission that Ulez would only make money for a couple of years before it was replaced by London-wide road pricing by 2026 at the latest. Mayor Khan assures us that no decisions have been made. Well, why then is Transport for London hiring contractors to develop road pricing systems? We're told the technology is not available yet. Don't fall for that. What he really means is that he will wait until he's re-elected. Do we want to see him re-elected? No! Do we want to see him? No! Right, Khan admits that the Ulez cameras could be used to police road pricing. He's considering taxing us by when we drive and where we drive to. Who decides if our journey to work is really necessary? Who decides if we should be cycling or walking instead? Yeah? He's even eyeing our household income. Yeah? It's a massive invasion of our privacy. And he wants to force 27% of us off the road with his charges. He's got the nerve to call others extreme when it's him that's too big for his jack boots. Yeah? Probably a great belly. But if we want to stop him, we need to spread the word. And that's where we can all work together.
Cut the cameras!
Yes, and if the truth is the best disinfectant for London's toxic mayor. Thank you.
Right, it's a great audience. Big shout out to the signer as well, please, everyone. And Emma, big shout out. I'm going to read some more quotes out in a second, but now we're going to introduce a gentleman who has been a special advisor to Boris Johnson, whatever anyone thinks about Boris Johnson, but he's been a special advisor to Boris Johnson, and he's now thrown his hat in the ring as a prospective candidate for London Mayor. He is, of course, Samuel Kazamu.
Hello everyone! Friends, what a turnout! We're sending a message directly to Seys and Geoff that we don't want his Ulez expansion. Is that true? Yeah! You've been here. Show Sadiq Khan how strong London is feel about his poor choice of this Ulez expansion. This mayor's dismissive disregard towards us, those who are concerned about his Ulez tax, must end now. Yeah! Sadiq Khan, take notice, stop and listen. London is the greatest city in the world. The people who live and work here make it so great. The mayor's Ulez plans hurt those very people, Londoners like you and me and people who make this city work. For many of us, a car means liberty and livelihood. Get a car out, yes I agree. Get a car out, get a car out. I was born and raised in the London borough of Barnet. Anybody here from Barnet? Good, two of us, wonderful. Where I first saw the power of having a car. For those not rich enough to afford a new vehicle, the Ulez tax, Khan's Ulez tax, will be be nothing short of a disaster. Small businesses will close. Disabled Londoners stranded. Carers and our NHS heroes stuck. We have all read and heard about the effect the Ulez tax will have on entrepreneurs. Trust me, Ulez is going to hurt them. I founded and ran a social enterprise many years ago which supported over 6,000 entrepreneurs to set up and grow a business. Many used the funds to buy a van. Not a brand new van, but a second-hand van. Vans mean work. Vans mean independence. Vans mean food on the plates for families. Vans mean self-preservation. The Federation of Small Businesses has found that 18% of companies who have vehicles that are not Ulez compliant will close. It's no surprise then that more than 4 in 5 small businesses oppose the expansion. Sadiq Khan, once again, take notice, stop and listen. If you are disabled, have mobility issues, a car is your livelihood, Sadiq Khan's Ulez tax could be catastrophic for them. I hate that word, catastrophic. Tried to get out the speech, it didn't work. Over 280,000 disabled people live in London, many needing wheelchair-specific vehicles. Sadiq Khan is proposing less than a 4-year exemption on the tax. In 4 years, they will have to buy a brand new car or pay full whack. Of course, this short exemption is only for those who claim disability benefits. Many Londoners have mobility problems but do not claim those benefits. Do we agree? Don't worry, I'm almost done. Awkward moment trying to get through the next page. So my message to the mayor is please listen to us. Londoners do not want your tax. Stop the expansion process right now and listen. Mr. Mayor, if you feel strongly about Ulez zones, put it in your manifesto, let's debate it and let the people decide. Mr. Mayor, if you want to support small businesses, if you want to enable those with disabilities, such as our elderly, if you want to support our NHS heroes, then the one thing you need to do is stop the Ulez tax right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. I should say that this was put together fairly fast, this one, but we invited a range of different people. We've got a lot of support from various people who agree with us, MPs. That's across the floor as well. Some of the Labour MPs, as well as Labour MPs, as well as Conservatives, some of the Lords, as we read out at the start of this, Baroness Fox and Lord Moylan and others, and councillors. And we're going to be doing another big one in the next couple of months, which we'll let everyone know about. It won't be Easter when people will come in to speak. Next up is a councillor from one of the councils that's doing the judicial review. It's Simon Forfoot from Bromley Council.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. To send a message to Nick Khan. I'll keep that up. Well, I'm Simon Forfoot, and I'm one of the councillors on part of the Fearless 5 councils that are challenging Mr. Khan through the court. And we will take it all the way. I can assure you of that. Now, Mr. Khan doesn't understand you lot. He thinks, for some reason, he thinks you're all extreme right-wingers. Are you extreme right-wingers? I don't think he heard that. No, I'm not. Are you COVID deniers? No! So this is the whole point about it. He would have us painted as
daft, stupid people because he's lost the argument. And one of the next things I want to talk about is air quality, okay? Today, in inner London, every one of you is breathing worse air than you would do if it was in my borough in Bromley. Here today, there's already Ulez here. What he's doing is he's making outer London pay for his mistakes in inner London. And the other thing is, and you don't have to take my word for it, there's an independent report by a company called Jacobs. Go and look at their maps. You'll see that it's all lovely blues and greens in outer London, reds and yellows in inner London. Maybe that's something to do with the politics, I don't know. But that is an air quality map, and that is fundamentally true. But we know, everybody here knows it's not about air quality one little bit. It is about road pricing. Mr. Khan is not even a Trojan horse anymore. He's got out of the horse, he's waving the flag and said, do you know what, I'm going to charge road pricing. I don't know if you've seen his accounts, but in 2027, he will raise no money whatsoever from Ulez. So he's got to get some money somehow, and that means today, you may be Ulez compliant, but tomorrow, or in 2025, when he brings in road pricing, you will not be. Fundamentally, he's after you. He's after everybody. I drive an electric car. I know what's coming. I'll be charged. Believe me. So, the next thing I want to say is, if I was standing for mayor, I would do three things. I'd pledge three things. The first one would be, I would scrap Ulez. The second one is, I would not go for road pricing. And the third one is, and I have to say this because Mr. Khan is scared. He's lost the arguments, that's why he calls you names. He's scared of facing the electorate. So I challenge Mr. Khan, plain and simply, delay this implementation until May. Let the electorate decide. What are you afraid of? And we know what he's afraid of. He's afraid of you good people. That's what it is. So my pledge would be, if I was standing for mayor, is I would say, anybody that is fined, if you are fined between now and the election, you will get a full refund if Khan is kicked out. A full refund. Do you like that? Do you like that? Good. And finally, there's a few other things we've got to just wrap up here, because we know all about this. And that is that he's not getting the message. Ulez is unfair. And he does not get that. As people have said, it affects the poorest. Where I live, it will stop doctors, teachers, nurses, police officers coming into work. It will put you in danger. It will put you at risk. You might not get taught. You might not be able to go to hospital because of all those things. Those people, and we already know of some that are dropping their jobs at the Prue in Bromley to go and work outside because they don't want to face the congestion charge. That's how it impacts people. It affects everyday people. And the other thing is, I want you all to put your hand up if you are impacted by Ulez, or you know someone that's impacted by Ulez. And there you have it. Everybody knows somebody in outer London that is seriously impacted by Ulez. That's why we've got to stop this. That's why we have to make it an election issue, regardless of what happens. So, what we have to say to Mr. Khan one more time, stop Ulez! Stop Ulez! Stop Ulez! Stop Ulez! Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the afternoon.